I'm gonna allow some people to get in here. I tell you what, it feels funny having a UFC event finish up this early in the day and then being able to make a video. That's pretty cool. Let people get the word. Come on, YouTube. Come on. Come on, Tube. YouTube has been especially cruel to me today for whatever reason. I streamed and did the one championship, Fight Night 35 yesterday, and I got a lot of love from YouTube on the YouTube Shorts side of things. But today, oh my God, I mean, you put out pretty much identical content, but just covering the UFC, and then all of a sudden, nothing. So we'll see what happens with this live stream. Hopefully YouTube doesn't have me shadow banned or something like that. That could totally be a possibility. Oh, that's strong coffee, baby. All right, so we got one person in here. What's up, one person? How are you? We're trying to get some more people in here so we can go over this UFC Paris card. How we doing? Just a dollop of Daisy. Oh, let's see what this looks like here. How are we looking? Beautiful. Looks good. All right. Sounds good. Looks good from my end. Yeah, so let's go over it because I am going to post this video. And for anybody else that comes to look at this video, I don't want you to have to wait forever to actually listen to what I have to say. So we'll go ahead and talk about this. And as people come in the chat, we'll kind of have a conversation together about it. So I did not tune in to the UFC Paris prelims. Jamil Caleb Estrada, what's up, brother? How are you? Hope you're doing well today. We're talking about UFC Paris, France. So I didn't get to see the prelims at all. And that was unfortunate because I heard that there were 11 finishes out of 13 fights. That's unprecedented, guys. Like, I saw that one guy finished his opponent with a calf kick. When does this sort of stuff happen? And of course, the one time I choose not to watch the prelims, that's when we see all the finishes. But I tell you what I did watch. I did tune in to the main event. And overall, I would have to rate it like a strong B minus. Yeah, you got to see my Eiffel Tower. Bro, pause, first off. But Paris is in the building strong today. Like, I wasn't familiar with France's game, obviously. But we'll get into that because I really want to talk about Benoit and I really want to talk about Imavov. I want to talk about these guys. Saiba, what's good? Saibe. I don't know what that says, brother. Saiba. What's up, guys? Okay, so I don't know if you guys tuned into the card or not, but like I want to go into everything that I saw. So first on the card was William Goumas versus Robert Rucala. William Goumas is from France too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out. Can y'all confirm? Is William Goumas from France? I believe he is. Let's see. He's a southpaw. That doesn't tell me where he's from. I believe William Goumas is from France. Let's see. I just want to confirm. I heard that, from France. France went undefeated tonight. And that's unprecedented. Like, do y'all remember maybe a year or two ago, they had a UFC event in Canada and like every Canadian fighter on the card lost? Well, France showed up and showed out. So William Goumas versus Robert Rucala, in my opinion, was a very average fight from both fighters. William Gumas did get the win, unanimous decision. So, I mean, he did enough to get the judges to all agree that he won the fight. You know, there was nothing special about the performance whatsoever, and I was a bit concerned because I'm like, okay, if this is how the main card is going to kick off, if this is how you're going to perform in front of your countrymen, how in the hell is the rest of this fight card going to go? And oh my God, was I wrong about that? Vanessa McBooty, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that you pooped just based on that last name, McBooty. Is that a real last name? Hey, Vanessa, you be nice. Jermil, I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing really good. It's still early in America, in Louisiana, where I'm at. So we've already watched the UFC fights. We're already streaming. And I'm probably going to get out of here in the next 30 minutes to an hour and do fuck all. Just sit on my couch, watch Netflix, play the PlayStation, you know, just whatever. We're doing good. We're doing really good. But moving up the card, this fight was one that I expected to be a banger, and it absolutely was. Reese McKee versus Axel Sola. Hey, I don't have a dog. I'll tell you what I do have, though. I have 3 cats. 2 of them are Sphinx cats, you know, the ones without fur, the naked cats. And I rescued 1 cat that's orange. Hey, we've got 15 people in the chat. We've got 4 or 5 people that are commenting. Make sure to hit the thumbs up so more people can come in. This is a new YouTube channel, by the way. I started about 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm trying to build this up. You guys are going to be a big part of that. Jermil Estrada. I'm from Philippines, but speaking English. Shout out to the Philippines. I've got family in the Philippines. Allergic to cats. That is extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. You know, I'm team cat all day. Dogs, they want to jump all over you. I mean, they're great. You know, we love dogs, but they can be a bit much sometimes. You should consider getting the naked cats like I have, the Sphinx cats. Here, I'll show you a picture. Because if you're allergic, you shouldn't be allergic to these because they don't have any fur. Check this out. Check this out, bro. Y'all, you've seen these before. I'm sure you have. Everybody's seen these. I'm allergic to... Okay, so yes, cats do poop, but every animal poops. So this is a Sphinx cat. You guys see that? Yeah, it's those. So I have 2 of those, and then I have 1 with fur, and they all poop. You're absolutely right. They poop. But that's unfortunate that you're allergic to cats. I'm actually really sorry to hear that, bro. Did y'all watch the UFC fights? That is what you call a Sphinx cat. Is it the same? Yeah, that's what my cats look like. They don't have any hair. So they should be hypoallergenic. Joker, JKVR. I don't know how to pronounce that, Joker. So Joker, you did watch the fights? Awesome. I love to hear that. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this ESPN deal to go away. So the UFC fights, we're going to be able to watch them on Paramount. I don't know when that starts, but I'll be very excited when that happens because it's very expensive watching the pay-per-views. I'm glad this one was a fight night. I do like chicken curry. I like butter chicken. I believe butter chicken is an Indian dish that I really like. Oh gosh, do you want to see the cats? Okay, hold on 1 second. We'll get the cats in here by popular demand. May, come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. They'll come in a second. All right, let's stop talking about poop. Vanessa, why is everybody so comfortable talking? I pooped myself. All right. I know we're having fun, but let's try to like spicy things. Let's try to steer off to a different topic. Back to this card. Reese McKee versus Axel Sola. Reese McKee got his ass knocked out in the third round, bro. But it was a banger. It was a very competitive fight. These guys were beating the crap out of each other. Beautiful transitions, takedowns. It was all there. Axel Sola kind of put his name on the map, bro. Is Axel Sola from France too? Let's see. I don't think he is. Southpaw. A lot of Southpaws got to win too. I'll give you $40 if you end the stream, brother. $40 wouldn't even get me to move out of my seat, much less end the stream. I pooped on my mom. Kidding, I'm only peeing on my. Y'all are off the chain, bro. Y'all are off the chain. I don't know. I'm asking for the cat. Come here. They'll come in a minute. Hey, Vanessa McBooty, I feel like you're trying to like flirt with me or something. I don't know what's going on. But look, we're trying to talk about these UFC fights. I'm not too concerned in poo-poo and booty and curry and all this shit. I've been doing too many one championship fights, and I've attracted a crowd of people who like to talk about poop. Remember the name Khamzat Chimaev. What's up, Boars? Somebody came in with the Khamzat Chimaev logo. Boars, what's good, bro? I loved your last fight. It was incredible. Absolutely dominated DDP. All right, moving up the card. Jamil, the cat's going to come in just a minute. I don't know where they're at. The problem is I don't have great internet in the back of my house, so I don't want to get too far away from the Wi-Fi box. They'll come in a minute. I'll make sure to show you the cat before we end stream. Moving up the card. Balaji Oki versus Mason Jones. You know, I was a little bit worried about Mason Jones because in that last fight against Jeremy Stephens got to him a lot, didn't he? And Jeremy's a lot older now, right? But one thing about Mason Jones that I've noticed, he's big for a lightweight, and I do believe that gives him an advantage in that division. But against Balaji Oki, I mean, he's big for 155 too. How big is Balaji Oki? How tall is this guy? I'm thinking he's like 5'11", 5'10". I mean, just two pretty big guys. This was the best fight on the card. Balaji Oki drops Mason Jones. Mason Jones went to throw a kick. Balaji caught the kick, hit him with a power hand, put him on the floor with like 2.5 minutes to go in the first round. Mason Jones drops Balaji. And, you know, I don't know how the judges would have scored that if it would have went to the scorecards because, okay, both of you dropped each other. It's pretty even, right? At least in my opinion. Mason Jones definitely had the momentum going into the second round, and he took full advantage of that. Was able to get the takedown on Balaji Oki and just landed some disgusting ground and pound. My biggest secret is I'm a hacker. I'm also allergic to fresh cut grass. Damn. Yo, low-key, a lot of people are allergic to grass. Especially, like, y'all remember being kids and, like, hanging out in the grass and, like, getting bug bites and stuff? Okay, Boris, let's talk about... let's talk about your next matchup, Boris. You're obviously a big Khamzat fan, so I'm going to talk to you as if you are Khamzat Chimaev. What do you think about Imavov next? You said it. He's got some of the fastest hands in the UFC. I mean, he was letting off 2, 3, 4 punch combinations before Borralho could even answer. I think it's going to be tough, though. I don't care how fast he is. Like, I just don't think it's going to be enough for Khamzat. I think Khamzat Chimaev might hold on to that belt for a very long time. Khamzat might actually go undefeated. Like, that's the kind of career I expect him to have. But you're absolutely right. I think my wrestling is enough. Brother, inshallah. Inshallah, your wrestling is enough. I'm a big Khamzat Chimaev fan, and I want to see you run through the middleweight division. I want to see you drop down to 170, and then I want to see you go up to 205, brother, and capture the third belt. I believe you can do it. One of the cats just came in, but it's not the naked cat. It's the orange one. I love you, bro. Much love. Much love. And I want to talk about that fight. So let's try to get past some of these fights. Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. I was extremely disappointed in Paul Craig, bro. Like, he looked really good. I'm like, Paulie, got the striking going. At one point, he pushed Modestas all the way across the cage, got him up against the fence. And what does he do? He drops for a guillotine. Put himself in terrible position. And I thought that he was going to at least survive the round. Right? That's what I thought. I figured Modestas wasn't going to be able to finish Paul Craig. It's hard to finish Paul on the ground. And he got a buzzer beater KO. Huge elbow at the last second, right on the eye of Paul Craig that put him away. So I think Paul Craig might be done in the UFC chat. I think Paul Craig might be done. BJJ is something he said that he's going to get into, competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I think that would be awesome. These dudes in jiu-jitsu are making so much money right now, the big stars, and Paul Craig could absolutely be one of those guys. Moving up the card to a guy that I think probably has some of the worst fighter IQ in the entire UFC, Benoit Saint-Denis. I was worried for Benoit Saint-Denis, guys. I'm not even going to lie. Mauricio Huffy is a very good striker, and Benoit Saint-Denis has struggled against really good strikers. What Benoit has been known to do is he gets in these ill-advised, hectic striking exchanges where he ends up getting hurt, and he doesn't take his time, and he's not very patient. And thank God, in front of his home crowd of France, he was able to change that a little bit. He was able to change that up. He did look a little bit uncomfortable on the feet. Like, tell me I'm not the only one that saw that. The thing is, if he can perfect that grappling, perfect his wrestling, and time his striking exchanges in a way that leaves for a very minimal percentage of damage for him. If he can defensively strike, I think that he can do really well. My concern with Benoit Saint-Denis is what happens when he goes to fight a Mateusz Gamrot. What happens when he goes to fight an Arman Sarukian? Somebody who can really wrestle well and counter wrestle. And then it's just left to the striking. I don't know. Benoit Saint-Denis is really good. He was able to get the submission over Mauricio Huffy in the second round. And after he got the submission, the camera pans out to the crowd and it showed Carlos Prates. And he's visibly upset. Almost looked like he started crying. Then the camera pans to Imavov's locker room and he's celebrating. The only person it didn't pan to was Caio Borralho. And I don't know why that was. You know they had cameras on him. But I made a video about this. I made a short about this, that this is going to go one of two ways, right? Borralho is either going to get a fire lit up under him that forces him to dig deep and perform like a maniac, or seeing his teammate get beaten, this is really going to affect him. Murphy disappointed me. He just maintained distance, not even counter guard. Yeah, I agree. Mauricio Huffy, you cannot get taken down that easy. You can't get bullied up against the cage like that. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to make it very far in this lightweight division. But you know what? Carlos Prates got beat by Ian Gary. He didn't get finished, but he got beaten in a decision. It was a close fight, and he came back really strong. So I do think that Huffy's going to come back strong. Another thing, bro. Mauricio Huffy wasn't even ranked coming into this fight. He had a lot of hype for what? For beating Bobby Green? I mean, I'm not doubting that he can't be really good, but, you know, I think there's still room for improvement and room for growth. What's thoughts on Shavkat versus Shara Bullet? Shara Bullet does not want that fight, brother. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, Shavkat needs to get healthy. Shavkat needs to get healthy because I feel like the 180-pound division is kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with Shavkat. But Shara Bullet's not on that level yet, bro. Yeah, he's just not there. I'm sorry. These guys are at 170. What am I talking about? That's an interesting division, too. Welterweight, both. Welterweight and middleweight are two divisions that are stacked right now. Moving up to the main event of the evening. Nassourdine Imavov, France, the French native, the Russian French, versus Caio Borralho. Man, I had high hopes for Borralho. I'm not going to lie. I think seeing Huffy getting beat may have affected him a little bit, but I'm going to be honest. It just never seemed like Borralho could get much going. One judge had Borralho losing every single one of the 5 rounds. 2 of the judges only gave 1 round to Borralho. At the end of the fight, the last round, I was screaming at my TV, just go forward, go for it. Because and that's easier said than done, right? I'm sitting on the couch, but you have nothing to lose. You're down on the scorecards. Just go for it. It looked like Borralho was trying to counter-strike. He was waiting to find an opportunity when sometimes, especially in big fights like this, you have to make your own opportunity. And I felt like Borralho kind of let that slip through his fingers. But, Boris, to your point, Imavov was just way too good. He was way too fast. Day by day, Usman Nurmagomedov is cocky on Ilya. Yeah, I'm seeing this. Let's look at Usman. I want to look at Usman Nurmagomedov. He needs to come over to the UFC. Why is he not in the UFC? Right? When your whole family, when Khabib is your cousin, how the hell are you not in the UFC? He's done some great work. So Usman is 27 years old. Here's the deal, bro. I think there's a lot of people that can beat Ilya. Ilya has not really fought a true wrestler yet. The best wrestler he's fought is Charles Oliveira. Charles ain't no wrestler. Charles is a pressure fighter that's going to try to get you up against the cage and knee you in the body and submit you on the ground. Yeah, so Usman Nurmagomedov is 27 years old. Maybe there's a chance we see him go into the UFC soon, especially with how the PFL's been lately. I mean, the PFL's been terrible. PFL's been terrible. So after the fight, Nassourdine Imavov said he is next. I imagine the UFC will start trying to make that fight between him and Khamzat. What's next for Caio Borralho? Let's look at the UFC rankings, yeah? Let's look at the UFC rankings. Let's try to put together some fights. Hey, Boris, I agree with you, bro, but this is what's upsetting me a little bit. It's almost like they're trying to make Arman versus Patty, and then the winner of that go against Ilya. I think they need to schedule the Arman versus Ilya fight as soon as possible because I think Arman's going to give Ilya some trouble. Arman's a big dude. All right, let's look at middleweight. Dricus du Plessis just got beat. Nassourdine Imavov just won. Nassourdine is going to be fighting Khamzat. Rainer de Ritter is now matched up against Fluffy, I believe. Izzy Adesanya's floating in outer space out there, ranked at 5. Caio Borralho just got beaten. Robert Whittaker just lost to, who did he just lose to? RDR. Man, Izzy Adesanya needs to do something. And now we've got MVP. MVP has come along and just really beat Jared Cannonier in a way that we don't see people beat him. So that's an interesting name we can throw out there. Paulo Costa has finally won a fight against Roman Kopylov. And, you know, we cannot forget about Sean Strickland. So it'll be interesting to see what Sean Strickland, what Izzy Adesanya does next. I think we could see one of those two guys potentially fight Borralho. Yes, bro. Not only that, Boris, Hamzat has had a lot of success against Sean Strickland in sparring. I mean, I think Hamzat has had success against everybody in sparring at this point. I mean, there's not a lot of people that he hasn't. So I think Hamzat Chimaev could win Fighter of the Year in 2026, depending on how many times he fights. You know, I think he could have a really good year. But let's play some more matchmaking. Benoit Saint-Denis. Who makes sense for Benoit Saint-Denis next? Let's look at it. Let's check it out. 155 is tough. And now they've got a superstar that's the champion. And so that's going to... It seems like 155 is always jammed up. Like, not as bad as heavyweight was, but it's always been slowed down because... You know, Conor McGregor was champion and he wasn't fighting for a while. And then Khabib. You think Chandler? That would be a battle of the low IQs. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Michael Chandler. I love that fight. Nick Gara. I love that fight. Okay, where's Chandler ranked at? I love that you said that. Michael Chandler. Is he even ranked anymore, bro? Hold on. Chandler, okay, yeah, Chandler's ranked at 12. Benoit Saint-Denis was at 13. Moicano already beat Saint-Denis. Fiziev is out there. Dariush. There's a lot of people for Saint-Denis to fight. Michael Chandler would be a good fight. I'm going to tell you why. I think that's a winnable fight for Michael Chandler, as crazy as that sounds. But I also think Benoit Saint-Denis could win that fight as well. Dude, 55 is crazy. You got Dan Hooker just hanging out here. Gamrot. Dariush just came off a big win, which Dariush is probably going to want to fight up at this point. Chandler or Hooker. I like it. Nick, the UFC should hire you, bro, as a matchmaker. I love that. I've compared Saint-Denis to Chandler in the past. Not their fighting style necessarily, but their fighting IQ. They both get themselves in trouble a little bit and get too aggressive and can get themselves punished in the octagon. All right, let's keep going. I like this. Modestas Bukauskas. Paul Craig's done, right? Who cares who Modestas Bukauskas fights next? I mean, anybody, right? Mason Jones is an interesting one, though. And I'd have to have some more time to really look at it. But Mason Jones, I think you can do a lot of things with Mason Jones right now. Bro, I want honest answer from you as a true MMA fan. Who is better wrestler? I'm going to have to say, from what I've seen so far, Hamzat Chimaev is a more dominant wrestler than Khabib. I've never seen Hamzat Chimaev really lose position. I've never seen Hamzat Chimaev... I mean, a lot of people talk about the Gilbert Burns fight, right? Like, Hamzat wasn't able to take Gilbert down. No. Hamzat didn't want to take him down. He tried to in the first round, and then he decided he wanted to make it more of a standing fight. But Hamzat Chimaev is the most dominant pressure wrestler I have ever seen in my life. You know, Habib actually had to stand with some guys. Habib actually had some takedowns defended by McGregor. Like, you know, Khamzat isn't getting... I can't even think of anyone who could defend Khamzat's takedowns. Look at what he did to Kamaru Usman, bro. And then look at what Kamaru Usman did to Joaquin Buckley. Like, Kamaru's on a different level, but Khamzat is on a totally... Like, Khamzat's the best, bro. Yes, bro. Myself, Utkars from Chechnya. My brother. Okay, I want to look at a potential fight for Mason Jones next. Could we see... wait, Mauricio Huffy was ranked 15? Interesting. So do we see Mauricio Huffy get another fight inside the 15, or does he fight somebody else? Does he fight Mason Jones? That would be an interesting one. So, look, I had some people asking to see the cats. I'm going to go grab them real quick. I don't want to bring my phone into the other room and lose connection. Hang out for like 30 seconds. I'm going to go grab my cat, and then we'll finish up this live stream in a second. Here's one of them right here. So this is one right here. This is Jeannie. Say, hey, Jeannie. Let me grab the other ones. Come here. All right, we got one more, boys. This is the other one. This is May. Jamil, I told you I got you, bro. And I have one more. But she's hiding right now. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. I know we're all joking and kidding in the chat, but seriously, I do like talking with you guys. I like this. It's fun. And I want to do it. I want to do it more. I cover one championship. I cover the UFC. So if you're into combat sports, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to punch the like button. And yeah, I hope to grow this channel alongside with you guys. Boars, it's been a pleasure. He looks like Beers from DBZ. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. All right, guys, I'm about to bounce. I'm about to make a video for the one championship fights last night. I will see you guys soon. Probably won't be until next Saturday that I do a live stream again. But Deal with Will on all socials, Instagram. You can find me there. Shoot me an email. Talk to you soon.